So my mum, some of you may know, I may have mentioned this before, I first recognised that she had quite bad memory problems when it's now 11 years ago. And she's still doing really well. She's still living independently in her own home with a little bit of support. But the thing was that because we picked up on it very early on, we were able to make very, very practical decisions about how to support her. And I had seen in my own research that by picking up on things early and acting early, even when somebody does start to present with some of these problems and some memory loss, there are still things that you can do that make a huge difference. So it's partly about prevention, but it's also about maybe putting things in place that even when someone does start to develop the signs, you can try and slow the progress of the condition. And I think my mum is a really, really good story, because she's still very positive, she's still very happy and active, and still leads a really, really full life, despite the fact that her memory is now really quite poor. So I know that I made a series of videos that are going to be released. They're very short videos, I think probably tantalizingly short, because there's so much more we could say on all of these things. But essentially the kinds of things that we can do to look after our physical health. So basically keeping physically healthy is really, really important. Regular exercise is probably the biggest predictor of our sort of cognitive health. And although it's difficult for people sometimes to do exercise, one of the things that I sort of say is that anything is better than nothing. So it really can be even exercise in your chair. And Helen, I know that, and Wendy, I know that there are some really good opportunities with Age UK Barnet to do these kinds of different levels of exercise. I don't know if you want to kind of throw those in there in case anyone doesn't know what those are.
Yeah, so at the moment, I think we're looking at bringing back some of our indoor exercise classes as soon as we can, but that's probably not going to be till next month. But in the meantime, you can join our programme of walks. There's walks around the borough, and that means you get out in the fresh air, and also they're quite social. So, you know, a chance to meet other people and chat as you walk around some of Barnet's lovely green spaces. So that's a really good point there, Catherine. Thank you.
And that kind of leads me kind of nicely onto the social side of things. And one of the things that Age UK Barnet does really well is to provide social opportunities. And I think, again, this can be quite difficult. We've talked, I know, at Age UK Barnet about the problems with loneliness. Now, I really want to make the point about saying that choosing to be on your own is absolutely fine. There's no issues with people who prefer to spend time on their own, but that's really quite different from feeling lonely. And feeling lonely is about, in fact, you know, what the research shows is that we can be in a whole room full of people and still feel lonely. So loneliness is about feeling connected with people. It's about feeling that you've got social support, that there's somebody you can call if you're feeling a bit down, that there's people that you can trust around you. And that can be something that can affect us at any time in our lives, but particularly it seems to hit the sort of teenage years and also people in post-retirement. So again, I think tapping into some of Age UK Barnet's opportunities to maybe do social things that you're comfortable with, and it is about finding things that you're comfortable with. I know in my mum's case, one of the things that she's done, which may sound a bit kind of strange, is that she plays online Scrabble quite a lot. And playing online Scrabble becomes a way to just socially interact with people, where she just feels that sense of connection. So and just briefly, because I know we've got other things to talk about, the other factors that are really important, nutrition and diet, I guess that's no surprise to anybody, but basically keeping healthy diet really, really does make a difference. And I don't think that has to be, you know, boring. I don't think it has to be boring, and I don't think it has to be hugely restrictive. Essentially, a healthy diet is a varied diet. So it's okay to have the things that you enjoy, but try and make sure that you're having as much variety as possible. And again, Helen, the cookery classes and various sort of dietary sort of opportunities at Age UK Barnet, aren't there, for people to
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you talk about that, because we've had a lot of people talking about how they've relied on ready meals and, you know, maybe some fast food deliveries. I've got used to those over lockdown and during these difficult few months. So we're definitely back with our cooking classes. They've been going throughout actually on Zoom, and we'll be bringing them back face to face. We've got one of our lovely volunteers, Sarge, here, who does make sure that recipes and things that we're cooking have, you know, they are varied, they are good for you, but they're also, you know, really nice to eat, which is important. And cooking is a really social activity, and we know how important that is.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And I think the old kind of rainbow on a plate is a really good way of thinking about it, just trying to get that mixture in. So yeah, and also sleep and relaxation, both really important. I know it's something that sometimes people struggle with, but one of the things that you can do to make sure sleep is better is just to make sure you follow a sort of fairly regular routine. So it's absolutely fine to have a nap, but try not to have a nap too late in the day. And again, I think having the sort of the sort of structured activities that UK Barnet offer is a way of trying to ensure that there is some kind of pattern, because actually it's that pattern in your life. It's having things that it's great to be creative and come up with new ideas, but it's also nice to have regular things that happen at regular times. The body likes that. We are rhythmic creatures. We like things to be at least a degree of predictable, I think.
Did we also talk there as well about how people can reduce their stress as well? If you've got things that are worrying you, you know, it might be that you've got a job that needs doing in your home. So, you know, we've got a handy person service that can support with little jobs, you know, fixing that light bulb, that little thing that's been bothering you and stressing you out maybe. And our later life planners that can support with income maximisation or advice on other matters. So, you know, anything that might be able to support you with that. So.
And those are two really important things, actually, because sleep itself is disrupted by being stressed about things. And those are really fundamental things, worrying about money or worrying about, you know, small things around the home that are nagging or that might be unsafe. So I think it's really great to have those. And I know that also UK Barnet is looking to increase, there's the mindfulness sessions and looking to increase active relaxation. So I suppose my advice there is very much about people trying something new, trying different ways of rest and relaxation, and recognizing that these are really good things to do for us. That it's not, I think sometimes people feel there are some people who are so incredibly active that they feel guilty about stopping, and actually stopping is really, really good. It's an important thing to do. And the other thing that is good for reducing stress is to not worry that you have to know or be able to remember everything. It's, you know, writing things down. People have this worry that if they write it down, they're somehow cheating. But anything you can do that makes things a little bit easier for you, keeping a diary, writing things down. In my mum's case, we take pictures every time she goes out, and we print those pictures out and we stick them in a book for her, or she sticks them in a book. But anything that is going to kind of support your memory as well will be good. And I know that's something that we're looking to do moving forward, is looking for active ways that people can support their memory as well.
I mean, you mentioned there about trying something new, which is the theme for our week. So why is that important, Kath?
It's important because you have to be, I think, well, one of the things that has been shown is that open-mindedness is quite a predictor of how happy people are, and actually even of longevity. I know it sounds crazy, but open-mindedness is really important. And one of the reasons it's important is that it gives us the opportunity to try something that might be really beneficial. And it's absolutely fine to try something and go, that's not for me. I don't think anyone minds that. But I think it's trying new foods, trying new activities, meeting new people, obviously all within what you feel comfortable with, but being open-minded and trying something new provides so many opportunities to do these evidence-based things that are going to protect the brain. And my saying is, it's never too early and it's never too late. So this kind of advice is just as valuable to children and teenagers as it is to people who have retired. This stuff is relevant to absolutely everybody.